on today, guys? I have a brand new video for you. I'm going to show you guys my entire video game collection. But before we get into that, today we have a sponsor. As you guys can see in the background here, this is RetroGameChanger.com. They send you out like a loot crate basically, but it's got video games in it. It's retro games. You can customize this to have any of the systems you want in it, from Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, NES, Super NES, N64, and they're starting to do other systems as well. Very cool subscription, and it's got some very cool games, and we'll get into what's in this box later in the video. But for right now, let's go ahead and jump right into some of the games I have laying around. Alright, so sorry about the shaky camera work here. I'm working on an iPad. But anyway, this is the beginning of my collection. Down here on the bottom of the shelf is all of my Super Nintendo games. There's probably about 100 or so on this shelf. There's more. My better games are on a different shelf. These are just kind of like my filler games. A lot of sports. There's a lot of stuff I don't really play in this section. Moving on upwards, though, is my boxed N64 and boxed Super Nintendo games. Some of the big ones I have is Mario Party 3. I got Mario Kart, Banjo-Kazooie. Then I have Donkey Kong Country and a couple other boxed Super Nintendo games. I had a lot more boxed Super Nintendo games like Chrono Trigger and Lufia 2. But unfortunately, I had to sell them because I had to pay some bills. Missed those games, though. But yeah, that's all the boxed games I have for those systems. And then moving up to this shelf is just some GameCube, my Wii games. I don't really collect for the Wii. And then all of my Wii U games. I don't really have a whole lot of Wii U games either. Not too much to say about this shelf. Just kind of some other stuff. I've got some cool collectibles on there. My Pokeball and some other stuff. Oh, on the shelf actually is the rarest game I own is Clay Fighters Sculptor's Cut on the N64. An incredibly rare game. It's worth like $300, but it's on that shelf right there. Moving upwards, though, is some more boxed stuff. Some boxed Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games. Some Mario 3 boxed. My NES Action Set Complete in box. My Wii U box. My N64 box. Some stuff up there. Some posters. GameCube box. My Super Nintendo Mini boxed. My 3DS XLs. Game Boy Color. And then some other random box, my Zelda Ocarina of Time box. Some very cool stuff up there. And then this is really what the meat of the collection is here. This is my N64 collection. As you guys know, probably, I am trying to complete this collection. I am about 65 games off of having every one ever. So we pull out some highlights here. Let's see. Right here we have actually 3 pretty rare games in a row right here. So this is Snowboard Kids 2, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and Harvest Moon 64. Some pretty heavy hitters as far as N64 games go. Pretty expensive games there. I got the, as you guys can see, I got the labels. A lot of people ask me where I got those labels. I just got them off eBay, and they were like $8. So a lot of companies, a lot of people sell those on eBay or on like Etsy shops, stuff like that. You can get them real easily. Like I said, yeah. So there's this row here. There's a row behind this row. And there's a row on top of this row, and then a row on top of that row. And then behind that is another layer of games. So I think there's about 220 or so N64 games. I know you can't see them all because they're all packed. I need a better way of storing them. Because right now, like, if I wanted to play a certain game, I'd have to dig through. And I don't really know where they'd at, unless it's on this front row here. I keep all the games I play on this front row. Like Smash Bros. And all the Mario parties, and then all the Pokemon Stadiums, and Mario 64, and the Zeldas. And the Bombermans. Oh, this is actually an expensive game, too. This is Bomberman's Second Attack, if I can get it out, for Christ's sake. Bomberman's Second Attack is a game that's been shooting up in value a lot lately. It's been harder to find. I got my copy a while ago. It's actually a pretty cool game. And, yeah. So, moving downwards on the shelf is where I keep all of my GameCube, or most of my GameCube games. As you guys can tell, I need more shelving space because everything's starting to overflow. But this is where I keep most of my GameCube games, the ones that I like the most. You can see all the Zelda games there. I got the Collector's Editions, Four Swords, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, all that kind of stuff. We got Kirby's Air Ride, Metroids, all the Mario parties, Mario Kart, Sunshine, Mansion, Paper Mario's a great game. All that kind of stuff, fun stuff on that shelf. I loved the GameCube as a kid growing up. Absolutely loved the GameCube, so I gotta show some love for it and get some games. And then down here is most of my NES collection. I know it's kind of dark down here. It's kind of hard to see because it's on the bottom shelf. But I think I have about 120 or so games for the NES. Nothing too crazy. I just have a good amount of games for it. These are my Game Boys down here, my Game Boy Colors, Advances, and stuff. And there's a couple of boxed NES games right there, and behind them is some more NES games. I keep all of the NES games I play in a different place, and I'll show that to you right now. I actually keep all of my games that I play for the NES. I keep them in this shelf here. So all the games that I play, or the ones that are worth a lot of money, are in here. So you guys can see the original Mega Man 1, 2, 3. We got Darkwing Duck in there. All 3 of the original Mario Bros. Games. Punch-Out, Metroid, Contra, Zelda, Adventures of Lolo 3, which is a great puzzle game. Maniac Mansion, Kirby's Adventure, Battletoads is freaking impossible. North and South, original Metal Gear, Castlevania, and then Mario's Time Machine. They're all the games that I keep in there. And it's actually pretty hard to close sometimes. So hopefully it closes, and it did. Okay. So let's go on to some of the consoles I have. So I have the Platinum GameCube right there. It's got the Game Boy player in it. And then I believe that is Leaf Green in there for Game Boy Advance. I have my Jungle Green system. I've been playing some GoldenEye lately. All that hooked up. I got my Wii and my PS2, my PS1, my laptop, another N64, the Ice version, my Super Nintendo Mini, my Mini NES 101, and then over here we have the current gen consoles, my Xbox One and PS4. I do have a Wii U, but it is currently downstairs. And then over here is where I keep all of my games that I actually play for Super Nintendo. So it's like my higher end Nintendo stuff. So let's start over here. It's Final Fantasy II, Donkey Kong Country Trilogy, Secret of Mana, Some Take My Neighbors, Mario Kart, Castlevania, Turtles in Time. And up here, Kirby's Dream Land 3, one of my all-time favorite Super Nintendo games. Actually, I don't know why that game is so pricey. Then we have Mega Man X3, pretty expensive game. I don't know why I spent so much money on this game, but I did. But I really enjoy the Mega Man X series, so it's actually in decent shape. I don't know. Then we got, of course, gotta have the Link to the Past up there. Yoshi's Island, Mario RPG, All-Stars, and Contra 3. And then down here, just some more filler games. Double Dragon, Battletoads, UN Squadron, Punch-Out, Star Fox, F-Zero. This Home Improvement game I heard is actually pretty hard to find, but it's a terrible, terrible game. And then behind this, I can't take it off right now because all this would fall over, is some more, just some more sports games behind that. Let's see. But moving on, we can open up this down here below. As you guys can see, there's some random PS2 games back in there. I don't really have anywhere to keep all of my PS2 games, so I just kind of keep them on that shelf right there. And in a bucket over there. I got a lot of them. I don't know what to do with them. But in here is all my current gen stuff and all my 360 stuff. People always ask what I play on PS4, what I play on Xbox One. This is what I play on those systems. I know it's not a whole lot of games, but I usually just play Battlefield 4. But I've been playing some Overwatch lately, and I don't really have a whole lot of games on 360, because all the games I had when I was growing up, I traded in at GameStop like an idiot. So now I only have a handful of games. But let's go ahead and take a look over here at my Game Boy Advance and Game Boy collection, and 3DS I believe in here as well. So right now, this is all the stuff on top. These are like custom cases I made out of DS cases. So all of my games are actually in these. It's actually pretty cool. It's a great way of storing Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games. You just print out the labels and put them in there, and then it holds your games for you. But let's go ahead and see if we can get this out without spilling them everywhere, because there's more games below. So yeah, so I actually love the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Some of the stuff I played the most growing up. So it's got all that. Got the Mega Mans. I got a lot of Mega Man games. Castlevania, Fire Emblem, a lot of Kirby games. And then down here are my 3DS games. I don't really have a whole lot of 3DS games, but I do enjoy it. And then I just got like a random baggie, which is just full of random games for all the handhelds for Nintendo. So there's probably about 50 games in here. Some pretty good games in there as well. I just haven't gotten around to making cases for them yet. And then over here, like I said, my PS2 stuff. And there's more below it, but I can't really dig it out right now. But that's all my PS2 stuff. So yeah, that's basically all the games I own. I do own some more games over there, which is my PS1 collection. If you guys can see that, it's really tiny, as I sold off most of my PS1 stuff, just because I didn't really play it that much more of a Nintendo. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what came in our retro game treasure box, because I'm stoked for this, because I haven't opened this yet. So we're going to do this live on camera. Like I said, you guys can check out this website. Link in the description if you guys are interested in subscribing to this box. I think it's like 35 bucks a month. And you get great games for the value in it. So if I can just open this dang thing, that would be great. But yeah, like I said, you can customize all of the game settings. So if you want only games for the NES, if you want only games for a certain system, you can do that. And you put in your library of games you already have, so they don't send you duplicates. So that's awesome as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we got in the box. So it looks like for Super Nintendo, because I put in for Super Nintendo and NES games to fill up my collection. We got Goof Troop, which is a game I don't have actually. Which is actually pretty cool to see. And we have The Hunt for a Red October. I don't believe I have either of these games. I shouldn't, because I put them on my whole game library in that list. But very cool. I know this Goof Troop video, or Goof Troop game is worth about $15–20, and I believe the Hunt for Red October is worth like $5 to $8. So that's actually a pretty good value in there. And then we also have 3 NES games. Let's see what we got for the NES. Starting out, we got Dragon Warrior, a classic RPG. It's pretty decent shape. And these games usually come in pretty decent shape. Sometimes they do have some label damage, but they usually come in pretty decent shape. They'll always play. They're guaranteed to at least play. But yeah, they got Dragon Warrior. It's a cool game. We got Jaws, another game I don't believe I have, which is awesome. I'm going to give that one a play later today. And then finally, although this game's really funny, is Friday the 13th, another classic NES game. So that's very cool. Like I said, links down in the description for that. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button and subscribing. And let me know what games you guys have in your collection and what games you guys collect for, what systems you guys collect for. I'd love to know all of that down in the comment section down below. But until next time, guys, remember it's always K-Mac time somewhere. Take it easy and peace out.